Absolutely.
And if you're an A7FL fan, and if you watched last year in the fall or during the spring season, Tone Smith, Trey Robinson, you have Savion Cunningham who's about to return to Jalen Lockett, Darnell Richardson is on this team, Spencer Hall. You know, they have a lot of guys that we've seen. Brandon Sirocco, a guy that they've been talking about a lot to lead the charge on this team. But I'm excited to see what this collective can do. Trey Robinson's been talking about this might be his last A7FL season. We'll see what that means. It could be a Terry Funk retirement. It could be something else.
How many times have the Funk retired that didn't come back and get a championship run?
Great analogy.
Return it to the end zone.
Yes.
And you're an egg-sucking dog, Dub Alvarez.
Well, we are ready to go live and in public, if you will. But one thing that is need to be overstated is the Insomniacs have always been very good on 3-on-1 coverages. And here we go. Savion bobbles the ball, gets at the 25-yard line. Savion makes a one-man miss. And again, we just talked about it. One thing that I think that doesn't really get talked about enough, and this was implemented in the championship game against the Nightcrawlers, was the great tackling skills by the Insomniacs on their 3-on-1 returns.
And it's also Savion trying to just use his pure athleticism there. You saw it, and you also saw with G. Hurd when he was running with the ball. A bit of a reckless abandon when it comes to that. As we see in the huddle now, Trey Robinson standing across from the team that he helped bring a championship to in the national season. Trey Robinson, one of the few people to win a fall brawl and national championship in the same season. It'll be 1st and 10.
And the only man to win it in the East and the West. Down the field, tipped away, great defense. And was that Shadow Rodriguez, the captain of the defense? Or was it Stone? Looked like it was Stone Stevenson that tapped it away and made the play.
Looks like that was for number 1 Fleming. That was the intended receiver on the play. And when you trying to set the tone early here, guys. Chris, when you take a look at Trey Robinson, someone you know quite well,
Your son of Krypton,
right?
What is he trying to prove here? What's the one thing that Trey, and we'll talk about more about that after the play here on 2nd and 10.
Trey in the gun, back to throw, looking, sidearms it, pass is complete, but a great tackle there as number 19 for the Outlaws makes the catch.
That's Michael Wilson on the reception. But Dub, what were you? Pardon me.
Yeah,
Chris.
going back to this, I mean, what's Trey trying to prove? I think what he is trying to do, he wants his own team. He wants to prove that he can do it without any help. He wants to prove that he has what it takes to get a championship on his own. And I really think that that's what he wants to do. He wanted to build a team.
Sets up 3rd down and 5 with 13 and a half to go here in the first quarter, just starting the final night of the Fall Brawl season. Delay on the snap. Trey's going to keep it himself, and Trey is going to be short of the 1st down.
And we see here on 4th down an opportunity for them to go for possibly a 3-point play. You can do that at any point in the game. They could try
But you have to be on the plus side of the 50, so they can't do it from here.
That's true. They have to get to the other side of the 50, so they have to go for it here on 4th and 4. Dub, this is a real interesting opportunity for Trey Robinson to silence a lot of haters, and also for A.J. McQuaig and this Insomniacs defense to set the tone and stifle some of the biggest mouths in the A7FL.
Well, you know what
Without a shadow of a doubt.
You know what AJ wants. Run to his side, run to his side, run to his side. And here comes AJ. Speaking of AJ, and Trey Robinson avoids tacklers, gets the first down, and gets out of bounds at the 50.
Now, I don't want to go back too many plays, but when we saw that first play, we had a skinny post that went up. Trey Robinson threw the ball on the line, which I think he should have, but I think he should have thrown it more to the inside without any safety help. We could have seen that go for a touchdown rather than the tip ball that we saw happen.
But
look who we have in. We have our boy Viking in. He is at the bottom of the screen.
It'll be interesting. He daps up the man that he'll be trying to block him.
Well, just good to see him back on the field, given what he's gone through with his injuries.
And he is aggressive off the line, and that ball is off the hands of the receiver. Try to have a quick throw to Michael Wilson, and it will be 2nd down.
Well, the biggest thing about that, you saw Michael Wilson take a quick peek to see where the defender was. That cost him.
Well, you can never discredit the motor that is Scott the Viking McCorkle, because he brings the motor on every single play. Doesn't matter what the score is, what the down and distance is. He just loves to be out there and playing football. And it's just good to see him out there. It really is. 2nd and 10, 11:27 to go. First possession for the Outlaws. They're at the 50-yard line. Trey Robinson at quarterback. Ball in hand, red beanie wearing. Here we go. And they'll put it up to throw. And there's AJ. Sidearms it incomplete. And again, well, now, a lot of times you heard us last year saying when you play the Insomniacs, you always want to know where 20 and 10 is. Talking about AJ and Mouth Williams. Well, Mouth is on the sideline, but AJ and Cade Cunningham, who came in last season, was a factor late in the season. Big number 80 in the middle. And then, of course, with the Vikings motor, you just always have to know where the Insomniacs are coming from at all shapes and forms on the defensive side of the ball.
Chris, does it look like Trey's trying to force it? He's trying to put the game on his back already early in this one?
Yeah, I've seen him kind of force passes, and he's also taken off when I don't think he needed to.
That's
we got a free play here. But, you know, one of the things that I'm starting to see, Matt, and I don't know if you've noticed throughout these games, because I know you've been up here with us, but you've been busy, we see a lot of guys slipping.
Yeah.
And I think that as we're starting to see it cool down a little bit more, we might even see more of it. I just watched AJ try to make a cut to match Trey, and he slipped. So I think that's what we're going to see throughout this game. I don't know what it is about the field and the cleats right now, but that's what's costing these players.
It was Dillard Davis, number 23, the intended receiver. Yeah, no, the turf is definitely going to play a hand in this. We've seen it in the NFL this season.
We have.
How turf and not being, you know, the wrong angle or something like that. But the great thing about this league is our push for player safety and trying to create situations like that.
And also, Dillard Davis, another dynamic returner in the 3-on-1. Almost forgotten about what he did last season for the Hunters and before he lost the season with an injury.
And as we've seen today, returners and offensive linemen are the greatest commodity you can have in the A7FL, especially here in Nevada, where we tend to have back-to-back-to-back returns. It'll be 1st and 10.
Looks like it's Davis in the backfield. It is. Trey rolling to his right. And he is caught and he is brought down.
And brought into the Insomniac sideline. Who says you can't go home again, gentlemen? That's RTC on the tackle.
Boys,
and that isn't going home again. That's being thrown home again.
And that's guys, that's a slimmed down, built RTC, and that's scary.
And you know, he likes, the only reason he plays on Sunday is because his favorite chicken place isn't open, so he can't get his tendies.
He can't get his Chick-fil-A tendies. That is absolutely right.
But RTC has dropped. We were talking about this just a little bit ago. RTC played last season almost at 240. He is down to 219.
That's scary. Wow. That's scary.
And we're going to see him on the offensive side of the ball, too.
That's scary. Dillard Davis in the backfield.
And you can see the defenders here playing real close.
Here comes AJ going down the field. Incomplete. Wilson again, the intended receiver. And that's a very good analogy you brought him in, because it just seems like Trey is playing a little tight.
Yeah, he's trying to get off the ball really quickly. He's trying to use the speed of his wide receivers, which is smart. But when you're going up against possibly the fastest defense in the A7FL, outside of maybe the Tampa Nightcrawlers, this is a really tough challenge, especially when you're playing with a lot of these guys for the first time in this capacity. It's a real dynamic shift. I
think what they need to do is they need to kind of bring things back down. Let's stop the home run ball.
Go back
to basics.
Let's
do a couple of bubble screens. Let's get some confidence going for
go to basics.
Trey.
Go back to basics.
Yes. And let's see what happens that way.
Trey up the middle, and Trey avoids the tackle, still on his feet, and Trey looks to have the first down. He does, and is forced out of bounds at the 20.
And that's the Trey Robinson we saw in Fall Brawl last year, the guy who will put the team on his back. And this is very similar to that Pit Boss's offense we saw last season. A lot of speed guys trying to create a lot of chaos off the snap, possibly just as a diversion for Robinson to have that option to go Michael Vick and Madden 04 and just scoot down the field to get the first.
Well, I think what we're seeing, too, is we're seeing an offense that caters to Trey, and we're seeing him do what he knows he can do in the offense. And as I say that, we've got a new quarterback.
And that'll be number 15 in at quarterback. The handoff to 23, and
Dillard Davis is going to go down.
Wow.
And this time he is down.
I think he got an extra yard or so on that run.
But yards are yards.
But
I'm
like
telling
I
you,
said,
that's some tough running.
But like I said, it is really good to see Dylan Davis back out there. Had a
Yes.
rib injury last season, lost the rest of the season, and like I said, one of the best dynamic players in our league, and certainly very dynamic on the 3-on-1 return.
Without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, if it wasn't for Dillard, we would have seen during that season the Hunters would have been in a worse place.
Yeah,
he really helped that team out.
He was a key cog to that team, and as it will be 2nd and 8, the Outlaws driving.
Back to throw. Pass caught. And he's going to get to the end zone. Touchdown, Outlaws.
And that was Vincent Thompson on the catch. Mr. Thompson getting in there with a little bit of that cha-cha slide, and it's 6-0, the Outlaws striking first.
And that was Darnell Richardson, that quarterback that threw the touchdown pass.
Someone calling him Butch Cassidy and the quarterback kid.
Yeah.
He's no longer Lex Luthor because he's not on the kryptonite anymore. So John Marston, Dutch Vanderlind in the chat if you're watching us on A7FL.TV. Hi, how's it going? It's been a long time. I love and miss all of you. But let us know what's going on in the chat.
Smooth was smooth on that delivery.
Yes, he was. And the thing about it is all you saw was that the wide receiver just stepped out of the tackle.
Yeah, just breaks the tackle and runs right into the end zone.
And they'll go for 1 from the 5-yard line.
So
Calling in another player.
it's very rare to see the Insomniacs down early in the game.
And also, look at the clock, 7:09,
Yeah.
a very hefty drive
Yeah,
here,
very time
burning
consuming.
time in this first drive.
Trey back at quarterback, looking to throw, and
Ball's
AJ
tipped.
tipped that. AJ was right there in his vision, and it'll remain 6-0. So it's 7:09 to go. The Outlaws with a 6-0 lead. How will the Insomniacs respond? You're watching the A7FL Fall Brawl on Fox 5.2. Six nothing with 7:09 to go, and here we go. The 3-on-1 throw off, and trying to see who that is returning for the Outlaws. I mean, not the Outlaws, the Insomniacs. And gets across the 40 to about the 43-yard line, and that was
Looked like number 9.
still trying to see who that is.
Yeah, I can't see. And you know what? And this is a young man that I think he fractured his orbital bone. He's got to play with a mask.
Oh. Yeah, that's number 9. That is. Oh, that's Denzel.
Yep, Denzel Daniels. You know, now that I'm sitting here, I do not see Danye out there.
Well, you see RTC set up to the right of Scooter Hamilton, though, on first down.
And there goes RTC. RTC doing RTC.
Oh, my
Throwing
God.
people down on the turf.
That is one of the most dangerous athletes in pro football. I don't care where you're from, what you do. When you watch RTC, Anthony Wilkerson, run with that ball, it is a problem for
Scary.
whoever is in front of him. Just the speed, the power, the ability to change lanes.
And folks, he's back. Devontae Carter is in. Scooter going downfield, incomplete.
Looks like there was a lot of confusion on that route. The receiver was looking to try to break that out. That was Davis, the intended receiver.
And we got some laundry on the field.
And it's on the defense. It'll be automatic first down. It'll be replay at first down.
Okay, so it looks like, so he doesn't want us to say his name, but Himothy is wearing Shadow's jersey. So he is him, as Corey Hammond would say. Hi, Corey, if you're watching. Himothy is wearing Shadow's jersey. And there goes Devontae Carter. Tay is free. Tay's got a first down.
And I think that's going to be the key for the Insomniacs in this game. They're able to beat you with that 1-2 punch at running back. They have so many options at wide receiver. It's going to be a long day for this Outlaws defense because they're going to have to be on their toes and be ready for anything.
And which, by the way, Devontae is now wearing Trey's old number on the Insomniacs.
Oh, my.
Damn, so I got another son.
Yes, you do. Again, Tay in the backfield. Scooter keeps it himself. Scooter, so
Nice
elusive as a
cutback.
big man, close to a first down, just a couple of yards shy. And the Insomniacs doing what they do, marching down the field, being efficient.
He's saying that was a low tackle. He's looking for a flag on that one as Hamilton.
And let me tell you, the biggest thing about these guys, too, is running behind that offensive line. You've got probably 3 of the better blockers in the league, and that is one heck of an offensive line to run behind.
And now Richard Washington, Juice, number 28, in the backfield. And there goes Munchie in the slot.
Loading up on that line.
And
the
there's
handoff.
Juice, and there goes the Juice. Richard
The Juice
Washington,
goes.
he is going to score for the Insomniacs.
Touchdown.
You know why they call him Juice?
Why is
Because
that?
he's got it, and he's got 6 points on the board.
Yes, he does.
Ties that one up with 4:48 left to go on the clock. The Outlaws used a lot of time. The Insomniacs are like, we don't get paid by the hour. Let's just get into the end
Let's just
zone.
get to the end zone.
You know, if you want to look at it that way, we could even say they don't get paid by the minute.
No, they don't.
They
Or
don't
how
ask-
quickly they went down the
Or
field.
or the second.
They don't ask you how, they ask you how many, gentlemen.
Exactly.
Yes.
And right here, going for potentially 1. They'll set up. They'll set up at the
looks
10.
like
They'll
they're
go for
setting up at the
2. Interesting that they're huddling right at that line mark.
And Schwenk, Brandon Schwenk, number 13, has declared himself eligible.
And it'll be number 16 and a quarterback. The snap.
Looking.
Ugh.
Throws a low ball. And Kenny Mack asking for a flag, but to no avail. But nonetheless, at 4:40 to go, we got ourselves a tie game. Get ready, boys. It's going to be a showdown. We'll be back on Fox 5.2. And welcome back to Bonanza High, and Luciano will throw it off. And we
Got an
still don't
arm.
know who is going to get it for the Outlaws. Don't see a number yet. It's number 22. And again,
Trying to get the
KJ.
ball out. Trying to rip that ball out.
but again, we've talked about it ad nauseum, but again, it is very hard to take one back against this Insomniacs special team.
That was KJ Burrell, the man who used to be known as the Cheetah.
Yep.
And a lot of great returners
Yes.
here. It looks like, I feel like against any other team in this tournament, in this 7-week season, you have the skills to possibly beat all but 2 teams just with that level of return staff.
Yes. But again, because the Insomniacs special teams is so doggone good, it's just hard. I mean, if you can get past the 25 or maybe get to the 30, you might consider that to be a decent return. And anything past the 40s, you think you got gold.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing about it is when you have situational football, anytime, especially in this game, because let's face it, most of the time, just to get up to the 25 in the pro game, you're doing something.
Yeah.
And I would say if you could get up to the 25 against the Insomniacs, you're doing something.
You're doing something. But I mean, again, as you guys pointed out clearly, the Outlaws, nice ball control, time consuming drive. The Insomniacs right down the field.
A lot of space there on the
Trey
wide
pass
receivers.
caught. And that is a first down for the Outlaws on the far sideline. And boy, they are getting at it with the physicality.
Yes, they are. But that's what I like to see, getting up and giving each other love. So no hard feelings, no nothing. We're seeing a clean game so far, and I'm watching these guys. I mean, their execution right now is just second to none.
Was that Savion with the catch? It looked like it was Savion that made the catch.
It did look like Savion. I can't be sure. Again,
It was Savion. It was Cunningham on the reception.
Okay.
And
seeing him on the far sideline is very hard to see who that was. I guess I can start looking there too.
In the Insomniacs, just you see the space there at the bottom of your screen. So much distance, about 5 yards between the receiver and the defender. The snap.
Trey over the middle.
Going
And
for it. Oh.
nearly intercepted. He was going for Wilson. But it almost was picked off by Cody Johnson, number 18.
Chris, are they giving the wide receivers too much space?
No, I mean, you're basically, because, Insomniacs like to play man. So they're playing with the single high safety. When you see that from the two outside receivers and you're giving them a little bit of space, all you're making sure is that you're not getting burnt over the top. Because as they say, even and he's leaving. So you give them a little bit of space so that way you can flip your hips and run with them.
The one thing I noticed yesterday when we were a part of Minor League All-Star Weekend, and shout out to Flash Media Sports for being the home for that, and shout out to our technical director, Mel Carey, but a lot of space, just creating a lot of chaos, and Robinson's got to find all of his options. Intercepted!
Picked off.
Not touched, and he will be stopped there at the 44-yard line.
And that was the captain of the defense, Michael Shadow Rodriguez.
Who I don't think he doesn't get his flowers enough.
No, he does not. And he's the captain of the defense.
Exactly.
And with 2:47 left to go in the first, it's 6-6. And guys,
Matt, you brought it up. You brought it up earlier. You said it's an all-star team.
Yeah.
Versus a team that has been together.
And has won a
This is
championship.
what we're seeing. This is what we're seeing right there. We had a mix-up in the play call. We had a receiver turn the wrong way, and Trey expected him to run a different route and let go of the ball.
and I feel like both of these teams playing each other first game of the season gets a lot out of the way for both teams, as Hamilton will hit play action. 1st and 10. Throws the ball deep. That's caught. He is Heem, but he is also the man who dropped that ball, and that was the defender there playing some great baseball. He didn't strap him up. He had a hand on it. He just wasn't able to bring it in. A little bit of ego there from the coverage man, but it will be second down, Dub.
Yeah, it will. But don't forget, you may get him once, but he will get you.
Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets one.
Hey,
But-
you know what? That was a great route.
Oh,
the
yeah.
The only knock I could have said is that if Scooter would have put it a little bit further outside or up the field for him, it would have been a different
Oh,
situation.
there goes that man, Mr. Wilkerson, who just goes through everybody, refusing to go down
Now,
to the
1,
20-yard
2,
line.
3, 4 tacklers to take that man down.
Again,
It didn't matter if it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or 11, 12. No one was stopping
No.
that man
No.
on that run until he got to the first down
again,
marker.
he's a slammed down bus. That is scary.
You
is-
see more speed out of him. You see that he's able to make cuts faster.
And the power is still there.
And that's
He's a-
what's scary.
He's
Yes.
a living game breaker.
Yes.
That's the thing. He's a living game breaker. And we see here Carter set up to the left. He'll
Screen
get the
pass
screen.
to Tay. Here
Little,
comes Tay.
swing pass.
Tay gets a block. Tay has the corner. Tay has a touchdown.
Touchdown.
He is free. He is free. Tay Carter finds the end zone. And it's the Insomniacs.
And there's a flag on the play.
I'm not
Oh,
sure
wait
what
a
the flag
minute.
is for.
It could be a celebration, could be coming off the sideline. Unsure of what the call is, but we'll get that in a second. But Devontae Carter, first big play since his suspension, and, living up to that athlete we saw in fall and during the spring season last year, and he will see the penalty.
Well,
They'll count the touchdown,
unsportsmanlike.
and it'll be unsportsmanlike
no.
on the Insomniacs.
No, it's a personal foul.
Personal foul.
Yes. So, which means it'll be a very good field position chance for the Outlaws, but nonetheless, Tay is free. And, well, again, what have we always talked about with the Insomniacs? great blocking downfield.
Yeah.
And that was displayed again on that screen pass to Devontae Carter, as Devontae was patient. As Chris would say, he waited for his blockers, and then once he saw the opening, 6 points.
And-
Well,
Go
the
ahead.
swing passes is something that, when you utilize that in the right situation, and we see the Outlaws again playing in man. When you're playing in man, you're paying attention to the guy that's in front of you. And what I can say is, who had the running back? And that is where the slip-up happened. And Tay is so quick out of the backfield.
Yeah, and of course his pad level is so low as it is anyway. And there goes the juice. The juice finds the end zone for 1 point. So with a minute 2 to go, the Insomniacs, not driving by the second, have a 13-6 lead. 3-on-1 is coming. We'll be back. It's the Fall Brawl on Fox 5.2.
Double zoom?
We're back live. A minute 2 to go.
Looks
Anthony
like that'll be
Alvarez, Chris Vera, and Matt Ryan here with you in the booth.
And
Matt
for us.
Ryan, our special guest in the booth,
Hi.
as the newest member of the Ball Brotherhood is on the field with the Vikings. Scott McCorkle, of course, who donated his there to a fantastic cause.
Yeah, thank you to St. Baldrick's for being our partner on that, and shout out to Derek Duncan being the top supporter of Scott's
Cause?
yeah, shaving his head here on the program. I think that's the first time we've seen someone get their head shaved on an A7FL. It should be a stipulation going forward.
Luciano throws the
And
ball.
that ball does not go the requisite amount
that's
of yards.
well, that's because it
oh,
was
the
penalty.
Yeah,
Penalty.
so it'd have to
Yep.
go past the 45.
Yep.
But again, as I've been saying this ad verbatim, just the special teams of the Insomniacs, you just cannot get much against them. They're
Well-
just very sound in their gaps. They're very sound in their assignments of who to grab what, and they do it as a team effort on these. I mean, BME Keeks, one of the best returners in the league overall. He was contained in the championship game back on July 23rd in Bullhead. It's just there's
Because-
not much you can get against this Insomniac special teams.
No, because they understand about staying in their lanes.
Yes.
They understand about staying home. They're not going to get beat to the corner. They're going to push everything back to their help. And that's something that everybody, you could learn from what they show you.
De'Eric Schufert, the Viking, and Kay Cunningham, the three rushers up front in the middle.
The big thing with this right here, we got a
Flag
penalty
down
already.
as Dillard Davis was on the carry.
The speed of having Shufford and Viking coming off the edges for them.
That's scary.
It's-
That is very scary.
Yes.
And just think of the many combinations that the Insomniacs can use.
Yeah.
That's one combination. Of course, AJ and Mount, that's another combination. And oh, by the way, if they want to decide to put RTC in the middle of that linebacker, that's another deadly combination. There's just, when you have depth like the Insomniacs have depth, and you can just implement whatever line as opposed to the lines in hockey that you want, it's very, very scary when you're that versatile in your approach on what style you want to use on defense.
And the scary part about it is that we haven't seen yet is when they decide to blitz that middle linebacker.
This should be the last play of the first quarter as we're at 19 seconds to go. 12-6 Insomniacs. Trey back to throw.
Oh,
Across
that
the
ball
middle.
almost got tipped.
Oh, great catch.
Gets into the 25. That's first down. Caught by number
Scott's
one,
hurt.
Trevin
Scott's
Fleming.
hurt.
Fleming,
And that's his knee. He's
Yes.
limping off to the sideline.
but still a
You don't want
fantastic
that.
catch. And I think the Outlaws called a timeout, so we'll have at least one more play to go here in the opening quarter. And you know what? Shout out to the crowd for braving these cold elements for this last
Is
game.
it really that cold?
For Vegas?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Been
I
here
don't mean
44
to be
years,
that guy.
yes.
I don't mean to be that guy.
That's all right.
But when we're doing games in New Jersey and the wind and the rain and
Yes.
Cincinnati's got hail.
Now, see, me being from the Bay Area, most of the winters is rain, so the
Yeah.
rain I'm used to. Which, by the way, some people are wondering, well, why are you calling it the Fall Brawl? And it's December. Well, technically, we are still in autumn. Winter does not happen until December the 21st, if you check your calendar. So technically, we are still in the autumn. So technically, this is the Fall Brawl.
Also, stop being a nudge.
That too.
Let's have fun.
Indeed.
In the shotgun with one running back set right behind him to his right, three on the line.
That is Dillard Davis III. Trey back to throw. Trey taking the shot to the end
chip.
zone. Overthrows this receiver, incomplete. And now that will officially end the first quarter. So after one, the Outlaws drive down the field. The Insomniacs say screw time of possession. After one, it's the Insomniacs 13, the Outlaws 6. This is the Fall Brawl on Fox 5.2 and A7FL.TV. We'll be back. And welcome back. Start of the second quarter here. The Fall Brawl, week one. Anthony Alvarez, Chris Vera, and our good friend Matt Ryan joining us as the Vikings on the field. Trey in the gun. Back to throw. Rolling out to his right. Looking for somebody. Sidearms it incomplete.
And that one was worthy of the seatbelt strap there. He had him the entire way, kept him to the sideline. Might have been a minimal gain, but it's still third down. Outlaws in some solid territory here. If they don't have the opportunity here to convert on third down, do they go for the three-point play?
Which we have not seen at all today in the three games thus far. And that's a very good question.
My curiosity, when you're looking at a game that you're only down 13-6,
Yeah.
to make that 13-9 would be huge.
Yes.
And when you're giving up the ball at halftime and you have a full quarter left to go, why not try to take that risk now, get a big stop on defense?
Correct.
We got a declaration from number 13 for the Outlaws. That is Robert Hines. As Trey is still in a quarterback.
Interesting how they're leaving an entire side of the field empty, this Outlaws offense, bunching everybody up to the top of your screen. The snap, Robinson swatted, he catches his own ball, and Robinson will be brought down behind the line. A big loss there, going from the 27-yard line to the 33, and it'll be fourth in an uncomfortable amount.
Well, that was De'Eric Schufer that batted the ball
And it's a good thing he did, because they were setting up that screen with nothing but green in front of them. That would have gone for the touchdown without a shadow of a doubt. When you have a play that is set up so good like that and to the weak side of the defense.
And a timeout called. Let's go through the stats here real quick, guys. Outlaws getting more yards. They had more drives on that first one, though. 89 total yards, 54 passing, 35 rushing. For the Insomniacs, it's the inverse, 87 total yards, 65 yards rushing, only 22 yards passing, but getting a touchdown on the run and the pass.
But yet, the one stat, turnover by the Outlaws, turn into points for the Insomniacs.
It's certainly true. And here on 4th down and 18, Robinson, who is...
Oh, they're going for the three-pointer. It looks like they take it up to the 10.
We're going to get our first three-point play opportunity of the season.
History is about to be made at Las Vegas here tonight. I have not had much sleep, but I am excited to see the first three-point play in an A7FL game. What will happen here?
And Matt taking the words right out of my mouth, because I was the same way.
And reminder, this is an untimed down.
It is.
So this, right now, if the Insomniacs get the stop, they get the ball, I believe, at the spot of the foul.
No, they get the ball. They would get the ball back at the 40-yard line.
The 40-yard line, correct,
Yes.
correct.
So with them being in the plus yardage, if you are from the 40 to the 25 and you miss it, it goes back to the 40. If you are from the 25-yard line in, it only goes back to the 25-yard line.
And it looks like they have decided.
No, they got a penalty.
So they will go for it now.
Boy, doesn't that suck.
The toss back, the flag on the field.
Another flag.
The throw back to Robinson, and that
was
ball
tipped.
is dead.
It was deflected.
What do we got? Offsides. We're going to replay this.
And that was a dead ball play.
Offsides.
So it looks like we will go for that one again. It was on the defense. And the Insomniacs shooting the Outlaws a bit of bail here. Something you don't want to do with an outlaw. You don't want to shoot him any bail.
No. And
Give them a second opportunity, you know what's going to happen.
And that's very rare, because the Insomniacs are a very well-disciplined team. They don't get many penalties called against them.
And they've been out-penalized so far, 3-1 with the Insomniacs giving up 3 penalties. And, of course, the first time we try something in A7FL history, there's a penalty to reset it for us.
Would it be anything less, gentlemen?
Can't do anything clean the first time around, right?
No. Unfortunately, of course not.
And the snap, the throw back. They'll try the same play again.
Smooth end
The
zone
throw
to
to
the
the
man.
end zone, intercepted. And the Insomniacs stifle the play a second time, get the penalty, and it will be the Insomniacs getting the ball. And it will be 1st and 10 for the defending champions.
Well, you kind of mentioned this off break, but it's very hard when you're playing a team that has a bunch of coaches on your team.
And that is just it. You know, you have a bunch of coaches that are on the team. It's very hard to get around them, right?
Yeah.
It's very hard to outcoach multiple football minds.
Yeah.
And so that is something that we don't talk enough about, because
And they coach together, too.
Yes.
That's the problem, is like they're trying to out-scheme a team of schemers.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know,
very, very difficult.
Unless you are the United States Congress and you get George Santos out of there. It's
And
really
here
hard to
comes
get
the
a
juice.
schemer.
Here's Mr. Washington around the edge, and he is not afraid to stiff arm anybody, and gets a very nice gain on 1st down. Gets about 9, sets up 2nd down and 1.
You've got RTC.
Yes.
That's going to stiff arm you to the ground.
Yes.
You've got Tay. That's going to stiff arm you to the ground.
And run you over.
And now you got the Juice that's going to stiff arm you to the ground and then talk about it afterwards.
And run through you like you're Mike Allstar.
Exactly.
Choose your poison.
Right.
Exactly.
You know?
Who do you want to run you over today?
And you see the difference between these two teams. Calm, composed. There's a little bit of a free-flowing feel. It's not as tight. The Insomniacs controlling this here.
Scoot going deep, and it's off the hand.
And there's the flag.
And there's a late flag.
He did, and a hat throw.
So he must have had a penalty flag prior for him to throw his hat, or he dropped his flag.
It looks like a pass call, but we'll follow the official and see what we're doing here as the Insomniacs gain a lot of real estate on what looks like to be a pass interference.
That looked like Gerald Lawson, number 15, the intended receiver. It was kind of hard to gauge his number and see who it was, but I want to say that's number 15. Gerald Lawson, a.k.a. G-Law. Makes you wonder, does he have his own law firm?
Come on down to G-Law, get your gamer law done.
Pass interference on the defense. So, you know, when we sit back and look at this, this is kind of like we got personal foul, too.
And a personal foul on the defense, so 2 concurrent penalties.
Yep.
Yikes.
Well,
30
you got a G-Law, and then you got a guy called the accountant in Jonathan Query, number 81.
Is he a big Ben Affleck fan?
That
I
is
have many questions.
That is one of my favorite Ben Affleck movies, The Accountant. It's a very good movie.
He was the bomb in Phantoms, yo.
So, you know, when we look at this, and I'm sorry to take it back away from you guys.
No, you pulled it out at the right time.
We're looking at this, and we see Scooter. This is 2 overthrows that he had, basically. But the bottom line is, what did we see in the championship game? There's a couple of overthrows. He settled down, and then all of a sudden, we started to see them hit it in stride.
Yeah. And also, it shows the lack of focus on that outlaw secondary to where he was going to miss the ball. You didn't have to touch him.
No.
You didn't have to go after him.
No.
But I feel like this defense is trying to send a message. They're trying to be the aggressors here early, and it's really hard to set yourselves apart from the defending champions.
It's like in baseball. Don't give a good team an extra out, because 9 times out of 10 it'll come back and bite you. And with the Insomniacs, you don't want to give them an extra down.
No. And the big thing about this...
The throw, and that's incomplete.
The big thing about this, you know, as we're sitting here, and Matt, I hear what you're saying. They want to send a message. But I think you're sending the message to the wrong guys.
Yeah.
These guys are not the type that you can intimidate.
No.
These guys, these are the champions.
Yes.
From the spring, you know, these guys are not going to let you intimidate them. They understand this game better than anybody.
They do, but the hard thing is there's a bunch of guys on the other side of the line who think the exact same thing and have the rings to show for it. It will be second down. And Hamilton was set up with one running back, that's RTC, and he'll hand it off to RTC. RTC being held by his jersey and still...
Wow. Wow. I mean, what do you say?
Yeah.
I mean, if you put that man in pads, can you imagine?
No.
You know why? Because he's the best running back in the A7FL right now.
Yes. With hands down.
He runs up against Courage Mosey. He runs up against Daryl Verges, legends in the Northeast. There's a lot of great running backs. You've got, hard body Marcus McKinney out east. A lot of that game you see in RTC, that power running, that speed running, but he has the ability to change direction, almost like Ashante Worthy on the BIC. There's a lot of great comps to RTC and a guy who might be the MVP of this season.
I would agree.
You're not wrong.
He is the epitome of what Derrick Henry is.
The snap and the throw.
Back of the end zone. And, he went for Munchie, and Munchie almost got it. And a rare drop.
I feel like they're trying to be a little too flashy here. I think that this is them. This is them trying to send a message. Everybody on the Insomniacs said that this game was going to be quick. It was going to be over soon. And I think they're playing with their food. And I think they need to lock in a little bit more. They have to punch it in here and go up 2 scores.
Well,
Would agree.
I'll say it like this: if the run game is working,
why go away from it?
Why go away from it? RTC is still in the backfield.
Well, right
4th
now,
and 6.
What you're seeing, too, is that look at the push. Watch the push from the offensive line.
There's the toss. There he goes to the left. Get out the way.
What do we got? What do we
See
got?
what the
No
call
signal
is.
yet.
That's in there.
Touchdown, Anthony RTC Wilkerson.
RTC's second run touchdown of the afternoon. This guy is a problem. The running game of the Insomniacs, they have dissected the Outlaws defense. And Dub and Chris, we see the extra point here. The Outlaws took a big risk going for that 3-point play and gave the Insomniacs only 60 yards to work with, which is, not a lot of space for a team like that.
No.
Well, and what we see here, too, is what we talked about that we didn't see against with the Hunters. In this game, I've watched more times where they have cut off the defensive end, so that way he doesn't set the edge. and allowed the running back to get around the corner.
And right now it is Luciano in at quarterback for the Insomniacs. Luciano looking. Oh, he's got a man wide open. He doesn't see him.
He's got several options, and he throws it to the most difficult one, and it will be incomplete.
But there's a flag down.
Yep, we've got a flag down. We've got holding.
That's going to be null and void.
Yep.
But it looked like
decline. Looks like, hold on, we might have two. Got another ref walking in to talk to the white cap.
Well, let's see what the white cap has to say. It's holding.
Father Time was wide open in the back pylon of the end zone.
Yes, he was. We got holding on both, offsetting.
So we're going to do it again. Okay.
Yes, we are.
How do you both get caught for holding?
Defensive holding in the end zone, and then offensive holding on the offensive line.
My next question was going to be, are they doing the tango?
Yeah, definitely the two-step there.
Well, I mean, the Outlaws are a country, so you could be right, my friend.
Well, you've got.
So we're going to try this again with Luciano at quarterback.
Well, watch out for number 13, the tight end. He might be able to. Yeah, Brendan Schwenk, a.k.a. Billy Hoyle in the trap. He's got a lot of space between him and his defender.
Luciano, he can keep it himself.
And he's got the corner.
And he's in. He's got it.
Little man was moving.
That was a 2-point attempt on that one. The penalty's offset, so the Insomniacs guys, 21-6. Big effort, big opportunity. With only 9:20 left to go, Dub, what are they going to be able to do?
Well, we'll soon find out after this break. You're watching the Fall Brawl on A7FL.TV and on Fox 5.2. And welcome back to Bonanza High. Anthony Alvarez, Chris Vera, and our special guest, Matt Ryan in the house. And Savion Cunningham catches at the 25-yard line. Savion trying to get to the edge. And with his speed, it's very dangerous. Savion rolls around. Savion to midfield. And again, the turf playing a part. And a great return.
I also feel like his pants almost becoming asunder. he almost. Good thing he's wearing very long thermals, because if not, we were going to have a conversation with a certain communications commission. It would not have been a fun time for us.
No. Matter of fact, I was kind of looking up when that happened because I was looking for the other moon.
The moon definitely would have been full. The moon is probably back of us right now here at Bonanza High. And Trey Robinson from the 45-yard line, and here comes the pressure. Trey looking, steps into it, going downfield.
It's overthrown.
Incomplete.
You can see that ball was a little too high, intended for Trevin Fleming. Not a lot of guys are going to catch that ball in stride. And when you see the pressure that Trey Robinson is facing, we talked about it before the broadcast, and Chris, you were talking about this in the break, setting up the run, utilizing the offensive line. There's not a lot of time here So they have to make the most of it. They have to catch this defense slipping. What can they do with the run game to really create some space?
Well, see, what we're seeing, and if you pay attention to what the defense is running, they're bringing 3. But the interesting part about it is you have the defensive ends crashing, which I don't understand, which is what they did in the beginning in the championship game against the Nightcrawlers. Don't crash.
Pressure
Keep him in front of you. You keep his up shoulder.
Oh, what a
nice
catch! And a first down for the Outlaws. And I mean, Chris Williams is all in Trey's grill. And just the alertness of Trey to get the pass off and the great catch by the big man. Trying to get the number here for you, fans.
3 things broke down on that play. First and foremost, Trey Robinson's offensive line owes him an apology. Secondly, Trey Robinson's a generational athlete for being able to throw that ball. And the third thing, how are they able to convert that so cleanly on the sideline and get the first down? That is a big, big, big momentum shift for the Outlaws.
That was Robert Hines,
agree more.
13 on the catch. Robert Hines, 13, made the catch. Ball at the original line of scrimmage, the 45-yard line.
Empty backfield.
I'm sorry, the 35-yard line, I beg your pardon.
And there's that pressure again, and almost intercepted off the hands of the defender.
So we got a flag, but what I was going to say,
Holding
Trey
on
is
to
fast
the
enough to
Outlaws.
get around on the outside. And one of the things that you have to do is make sure that you stay in. When you're rushing him, you got to keep him contained. And what we saw with that rush, even though it was a great pass, just an unbelievable athletic throw, one of the things that we've got to see from, or that I would like to see from the Insomniacs, is they need to hem Trey in. They're letting him get outside, and that allows him to throw the ball downfield on a broken play.
And when you see the resilience of Trey Robinson, it's like he's trying to, through osmosis, give it to his teammates. It'll be a replay, first down there at the 45.
Trey rolling out to his
Free
right.
runner.
Throwing downfield. And he just got rid of that because the pressure was just too much by the Insomniacs. But is it to the point to where now, if you're Trey, you just got to trust your teammates to make the play and not try to do too much?
It is.
It feels like an impossible thing for Trey Robinson to do because he thinks he is Superman. He feels that he is the true son of Krypton and that he is able to carry anything and anyone to victory. And that level of confidence is very important in this game, especially in the A7, where you need a lot of bravado to go up against some of these guys.
Trey in the gun. Dillard Davis the back from the 45. Sets up second down and 20.
So much pressure.
Rolling out. There comes Cunningham. There goes AJ. And Cade Cunningham is there for the sack.
If AJ's not going to get you, someone else will. The aggression of this defense, you're seeing it at all aspects of the defense coming off the line, whether it's a corner, whether it's a linebacker, or if it's an edge rusher. They are bringing every level of aggression and trying to get any opportunity to show the Outlaws that they are not ready for what they have thrown at them. And now on 3rd and 28, Robinson is going to try to do something ridiculous. I see him here trying to do a play action and possibly trying to keep it and making his way to the 25.
I would agree.
Oh, God, AJ just got
AJ
intense.
is fired up.
Oh, boy.
That's not good.
No, it's not.
He is talking directly to the offensive lineman and Trey Robinson at the same time. Stepping back is McQuaig, and here comes the pressure. And they does exactly what I said.
That's holding.
And
So
Trey,
it's not going
and he
anywhere.
cannot get
You're
the
bringing
first
all
down.
of that back. All of it's coming back.
Why not decline it? Decline it. It's third.
No.
And, well,
You're gonna, because if you think about this, they're gonna have. If you
It'll be
decline it, it's gonna
third.
be 3rd and 3.
oh
If
yeah,
you take
you're
it
right.
back,
4th and 3.
exactly. Now it's gonna be. You're gonna go 15 yards backward or 10 yards backwards from,
Third and
where that
38.
penalty flag is.
3rd and 38. That's insane.
And the fact that Trey Robinson was able to rip off
Yes, a huge run.
25 yards.
Yeah.
Holding penalty being back where the quarterback was. He'll bring back.
I'm trying to figure out where's that from.
Replaying the 3rd down.
And it will be. And it will be here on 3rd and 38.
That's a long, long way to go, Matt Ryan.
I don't envy I
No.
don't envy them
No.
for this op. As the smell of burning rubber comes over Bonanza High School as the sun has set very far. It is nearly...
Is somebody doing a sideshow somewhere?
It is 11 p.m. in the east, 8 p.m. in the west,
Uh-oh.
and Trey Robinson
Uh-oh.
is being
Uh-oh.
taken back in time, like Eric Stoltz before he got fired, trying to convince me that the Outlaws were going to make something out of that on 3rd and 38 is like Elvis trying to convince people he's a narcotics agent
Yes.
just because he's Elvis.
Yes. And we're trying to get the number of who it was that got the sack, if he would ever decide to show his number.
So it'll be 4th.
That was J.J. Harris on the sack.
4th and forever.
And it looks like it will be...
You're just better off throwing off.
Yeah. At this point, you throw the ball. It looks like our stick handlers thought that it... No, they're going for it. They are going for it on 4th and 50.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
This is going to be interesting. We are all standing for this play if you
Yes.
are watching along at home.
Yes. Someone help me understand why.
You know why.
I know why, but I'm just
For
like,
those
why?
following, because Trey Robinson wants to prove that he can win a championship without the rest of
But
the Insomniacs.
live to play another down.
Well,
Okay.
you know,
Because
okay,
if he
look,
does this, it goes viral.
I know. I know.
That's the conceit of this.
It could be a SportsCenter top 10 highlight. I get it, but it doesn't make horse sense to me.
And it's also 4:50 left, 4th and 50. Trey Robinson needing to go multiple time zones, much like me on a United flight yesterday morning, going across multiple time zones, all trying to make this a one-score game, 21-6. The Insomniacs will get the ball at the half.
Yeah, they will.
A dangerous game right now for Trey Robinson because, if anything, he gives the Insomniacs only 26 yards from them and a 4th score.
is it just me, fellas, or is there 8 players on the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8?
There are 8 players on the Outlaws.
And there's a screen.
Oh my goodness! You could have had 57 guys out there. You could have had...
Jeremy Reeves.
My
Jerry,
goodness.
that was Jerry?
No, Jeremy.
Jeremy Reeves.
Rives.
Wow.
We'll be back after this. Welcome back. 4:41 to go here in the first half.
The Insomniacs having a party.
And needless to say, the Insomniacs have great field position after that 4th and 40. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Scooter in the backfield. Munchie goes in motion. Scoot, quick out pass, and we
had a false
will have
start.
no play.
False start.
As Denzel Daniels did make the catch, but they were trying to tango and dance all night long. And back up the Insomniacs 5 yards, and we'll do it again.
Well, you know, it's the same thing in every level of football. You cannot turn and move towards the offensive, to the line of scrimmage when you're in motion. So you had 2 guys. One of the offensive linemen did move, but you also had the man in motion turn, which was Munchie, turn and start to head upfield before the ball was snapped.
Yes. Here we go again.
It'll be 1st and 15.
Ball is 39 yards.
Declaration from the line for the Insomniacs. Scott, ready to put it up. Good pump fake. Downfield.
Oh, he's got him.
He's got him. Man. It's the juice. And it doesn't matter if it's 1st and 20, 1st and 15. Scooting with time, he will find somebody. And that's another Insomniacs touchdown. And Mr. Washington, the juice, is having himself a very good Insomniacs debut.
The juice just making the Outlaws defense look like pulp, able to beat his defender off the break, find the time to get to that ball. Scooter Hamilton could have read the Sunday New York Times and done the crossword puzzle with the time he had in the pocket. Those are the advantages that the Insomniacs have. Having guys like Matt Kenny, having those offensive linemen, and having confident players at every aspect of the game.
Well, we have
And
heard...
knowing exactly what they need to do.
And we have heard Rob Fabian, Rob Fabian, shout out to Big Rob, and we've heard him say so many times, the Insomniacs have the best offensive line in the A7FL.
Yeah. And
it's
you're
showing.
seeing it, yeah. You're seeing it here. Scooter Hamilton rarely touched, and here comes Luciano.
Looking, throwing. Short hopping it again. But
Now,
nonetheless,
if the wide receiver was 3 feet smaller, he would have been able to make that catch.
3:58 to go in the first half, and the Insomniacs doing what the Insomniacs do. This is the Fall Brawl on A7FL.TV and on Fox 5.2. We're back. 3:58 to go. Anthony Alvarez, Matthew Ryan, and Chris Vera, and it has been all Insomniacs, a 21-point lead. But Dillard Davis back to receive the 3-on-1.
The lack of consistency in the
Hit the
returner.
20. You better get it. Dillard
That's a
Davis
live
makes one man
ball.
miss, and Dillard Davis down the sideline makes another man miss.
Oh, and he's still moving.
They find a way to, tried to strip the ball out, did the defender. And the one thing, it's a hockey thing. They're doing the neutral zone trap. They're doing what the Devils did in the 90s. They're isolating their defender and just creating this net around them. And they have guys who can run and who can tackle. And
Well, that was Stone Stevenson on the tackle, and Stone Stevenson is one of the very hard men to get by because he is just very good at staying on his assignment.
And his name is Stone, so if it was easy to get by a guy named Stone, I feel like he'd have to change his name to possibly Styrofoam, maybe Tim. Tim Stevenson.
So the Outlaws definitely need some momentum on their side with 3:52 to go here in the first half with a 21-point deficit. 27-6, the Insomniacs are having their way. Backstack.
Smart play.
Smooth trying to throw the ball, throws it across the middle. Hines was in the vicinity but did not turn around for the ball.
Wide receiver felt like he didn't know where he was actually trying to go. He looked to his left and his right before pivoting to his left, just missing out on the ball. Timing has been a huge issue for this offense.
Yes, it has. And I mean, it's not like they've. It's not like the plays haven't been there because they have been.
Yeah.
It's just a split second off the mark.
And the one thing that the Insomniacs are going to have to remember, if you want that 2 seed, because the 1 seed, 70-0, no
Yes.
one's catching up with that
Yeah.
margin of victory.
78-0, yes.
The Insomniacs need to be impressive here and get some big numbers to ensure that they get the kind of seed they want. And Robinson in trouble and brought down just in front of the line of scrimmage.
Good job there by
Third down.
trying to see who that number is.
Mr. Lawson, 15.
Oh, yes, that is Mr. Lawson. That is G-Law
And right now, if
of G-Law and Associates.
come on down to G-Law and Associates, we'll bring you. If we don't get you your settlement, we buy you a ham.
Just a ham?
Just a ham.
How about a prime rib for Christmas?
Fresh out.
Here
So
we go.
if you just missed it, 70-0 earlier today, Sicko with the Hunters.
78.
78, pardon
Yes.
me, 78-0. 45-18, Alienators over OTT.
The hands of the receiver.
And the receiver will doink it. So
Fourth
we got?
down, and here we go again.
Fourth down, but it's not 4th down and 50.
No.
So, I mean, we're a little closer this time.
Oh, what a catch.
the Insomniacs need at least one more score. And we'll take a break. On the other side, we'll see what the Insomniacs can do.
Welcome back. Bonanza High, Anthony Alvarez, Matt Ryan, Chris Fair with you here in the booth trying to stay warm as we're now standing as opposed to sitting. Hines declares on this 4th and 9. Trey back to throw. Trey looking. Trey rolling to his right. He's going to run for himself. And Trey still on his feet, but he's well short of the first down. And a late flag comes in. What's the call?
Hopefully the Insomniacs, they don't want to step on the rake there, but Trey Robinson might have found himself getting the first down the hard way.
And RTC and Trey Robinson having some words with each other.
I would find it interesting right now if the Insomniacs, seeing this, if they give any hint of consistent pressure, Trey's going to run the ball. So it feels like they're just trying to force them to the sideline more and more and just try to make Trey make a mistake.
Well, I mean, right now, like we were talking, the biggest thing about that is, you got to keep your outside contained. And if you don't keep your outside contained, there's going to be a problem, and that's what we just saw.
I just want to say that Gabriel Hernandez, you are brave. Because if you're not
picking up the flag,
They're picking up the flag.
if you're not cold, I am cold for you, buddy, because good Lord. Man is really out there like he's playing in the spring. Oh,
you know
my
what? To
goodness.
some guys, the cold just doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. Well, like I said, one of the greatest images in my mind, the late, great Hall of Famer Bud Grant against the Seahawks in that playoff game, walking in nothing but a polo shirt in the cold for the coin toss. One of the,
That is Bud Grant behavior.
yeah, that is.
And right now, trying to be another type of purple people eater. Is this Outlaws defense? They're trying to be the light blue people eaters, trying to get the big stop here, but I don't see an Alan Page coming out of that locker room right now.
Or Jim Marshall for that matter.
Yeah, 3 on the line with the tight end, 1 running back. That is the bowling ball. That's Devontae Carter,
who's already got a touchdown in this game.
RTC with 2, Carter with 1.
And the Juice with the other. Here goes Tay. And a good tackle by number 25 of the Outlaws.
That was great.
Pursuit.
Yeah, great pursuit by number 25. That's Vincent Thompson. We've called his name a little bit earlier on in this game. Outlaws got players.
They do.
They do.
They do.
I feel like this is baptism by fire for a team that if they played in Alienators or OTT in week 1 or possibly even the Alliance, would have gotten the win, and I think may not have been prepared for, I think that level of confidence would have been
going deep. And incomplete.
Wasn't able to get away from the defender. That was number 14 for the Outlaws on the protection.
That was Cody Johnson, the intended receiver for the Insomniacs, number 18, who has a good arm.
One of the new faces of this Insomniacs team.
Yes.
The Outlaws have over a dozen new A7FL players on top of the players you've seen so far today that have been frequent names. If you're watching us for the first time, folks, we've got a lot of firepower to throw at you over the next 7 weeks. You've seen a lot of scoring today, whether it's on the 3-on-1, whether it's pick sixes, or just the old-fashioned way by getting into the end zone by throwing or running the ball.
Schwenk just declared for the Insomniacs on the line as it's Tay Carter, the lone back. And the option, the reverse. Oh, great play. And there goes Denzel Daniels. Denzel Daniels showed off his speed and is knocked out of bounds, but well after he has the first down. And Denzel Daniels, one of those new Insomniacs.
Nigel Boone got run up and done up on that block on the side. He got sideswiped like a Cadillac on the LI-8. And that just shows the offensive innovation from the Insomniacs, showing how much chemistry and trust each of those players have, knowing exactly where everyone's going to be. That's what makes it hard for me to predict anybody against them except Sick with it to try to walk out with the win. And just watch the slot. Take a look at the slot receiver. The safety's dropping down. I think that's Trey Robinson at safety.
Quick out, pass caught to Luciano. Luciano makes a man miss, gets inside the 20 as the clock is under a minute.
It looks like Luciano didn't make a business decision, but made the decision, felt like his body was going down. He felt his momentum slip out from under him and still was able to matriculate some yards with 52.3 seconds left to go in the half.
And a timeout looks to be called by the Insomniacs, which, again, by the way, fans, the Insomniacs get the ball to start the second half.
And I feel like if you got word down to Scott McCorkle on the Insomniac sideline of the margin of victory needed to get that 2 seed and get the bye in week 3. If you're not sure about our format, it is not a traditional A7FL season. It is a 7-week season, but we have 7 teams. So within that, we're going to have a bye each week. The Alliance got the bye in week 1. And next week,
the Packers are about to turn out the lights on the Chiefs.
Flag down. Here we go.
Scooter back to throw. Scooter looking. Over the middle. Caught.
That was easy. That was easy.
Insomniacs.
But see, that's right there, what we just saw is what happens when you have no running back, because you take the safety out.
And like I said, you may get him once, but he will find a way to get you, and he is him. That is Timothy on the catch.
And Kyriel Davis was the defender on that play, was not able to get off the blocks, not able to make anything happen to make that tackle.
Well, and the thing about it is, Matt, if when you start to pay attention, when these guys go 3 wide, they're going man. You're going with nobody in the middle, so there's no safety help, nobody over the top to help you out. And if Scott's got that time, Scooter's got that time, he's going to pick you apart.
Oh, yeah.
It's plain and simple.
Well,
and that's the thing that makes we talk about the offensive line and talking about returns. The Insomniacs don't need to beat you with the 3-on-1.
No, they don't. What do we have? A penalty flag down.
And that's just the added bonus if they decide to do that.
And they'll set up now, go for 2.
Which makes Scott very happy on the sideline.
No, they're going to go from 2 from the 5 because they just had a penalty.
Oh, well,
It was on the defense.
why would you want to give them extra yards on a 2-point conversion?
You know, this goes back to what we were talking about with some of these other things that have happened and that we've seen in these games. You got to play smart.
You do.
You got to keep.
You do.
You know, no matter what's going on, no matter what the score is, keep your composure and play this game in a smart way.
And play the right way.
Yes.
So the Insomniacs looking to go for 2 from the 5-yard line. And you got Munchie, RTC in the same backfield. Good Lord. Only knows what's going to happen. Luciano will take the snap. Luciano with his speed. Luciano is in the flag. But there's a flag down.
And
Gonna have a holding.
could be number 11 on the hold.
Okay.
That'd be Munch.
Yeah.
He's the one having the conversation with the official.
27 on the Outlaws. You're down 27
And that's the guy who
points.
gave up the touchdown.
Yep.
That's
You're down.
Kyriel Davis.
You're down 27 points. Chill out. Again, football's emotion, football's passion. I get it. I love it. I understand it. But
And they're
gonna
waving
wave off
the flag.
And they're hugging each other from it.
And that's a 2-point conversion. And that's 35-6, folks.
And that gets them over right now. If the Insomniacs hold and build on this lead, they will be the 2 seed. The only way they catch up with Sick-Wit is if they score 35 points in the third quarter.
The 3-on-1's coming up. After this break, you're watching the Fall Brawl on Fox 5.2. $47 to go in the half. Welcome back to the Fall Brawl. And that's not Savion Cunningham. The ball's at the 25, and we're going to have
And that's
ball
KJ
in
Burrell.
hand.
That is a dangerous guy to give that to.
That is. But you know what? Good to see KJ back in the A7FL. I know he went through some things during the spring to where he had to stop playing, but good to see him back. And he's another guy that is very special on the 3-on-1 return.
Yeah,
No doubt.
this is the all returner team.
Yes.
Like the having Trey Robinson, having KJ Burrell, Savion Cunningham, Dillard Davis. Just some of the best returners from the other teams in the A7FL. And here comes Burrell.
There he goes.
Whoa.
Oh, the turf again. But he's across mid. Well,
Hold on.
he was across midfield.
Gets walked backwards.
Forward progress stops him, but it's still a good. Return. Well, like I said,
And that was, I believe, number 8 on the stop on that tackle.
And you've got him in
Stone
plus yardage
Stevenson.
situation.
Again,
Stevenson latched onto him like a belt, just held him at the waist
Oh,
and
yeah.
said no.
He says you and I are going to tango, buddy. So 47 seconds. You do have all 3 timeouts.
Yes. So again, here we are in a good situation. You have your timeouts. Let's see if we can get you into. I'm looking to get to at least the 20-yard line. And worst case scenario, then I'm going for that 3-point conversion again. I have to. We got to go out. If we're going out at the halftime, you got to have some points.
Trying to get some points, exactly. So from the 45, Trey back in at quarterback. No backfield. He's by himself.
Watch the space between the receivers there. It's over 5 yards of room.
And the Insomniacs looking to bring the house. And here comes Mouth. He misses. Trey going downfield. Caught by Savion.
He's out of bounds. Out of bounds.
He never really had possession of the ball. They're going to, and it looks like they're going to give it to him at the 17.
Wow.
First down, Outlaws.
Are we going to have a first timeout? Are we going to have this? Are they going to call up and want the replay of this?
That's a good question. That is a very good question.
The Outlaws will have the ball.
Well,
They haven't had any
not gonna-
signal from it.
they're not gonna challenge.
No, doesn't look like they're going to challenge.
At the 18-yard line.
Here we go. From the 18, Trey will keep it himself on the keeper. Trey Robinson around the corner, gets knocked out of it.
Got the
Boy,
first
Art.
down.
Yeah, but RTC said, hello, how do you do? Remember me.
Yeah. Hello, little buddy.
Hello, old friend. First and goal for the Outlaws with 31 seconds to go, trying to at least chip into this 31-point lead that the Insomniacs have.
And the Insomniacs need to win by 28 to get the 2 seed.
Hines just declared himself eligible.
Yards to go.
Robinson looking, throwing back of the end zone, too high, incomplete.
Over the head of his intended receiver.
Well, when you look at this, Matt, I know you're saying they need to win by that much to get the 2 seed. Really, does it make a difference between 2 and 3 at this point?
Well, you kind of want to get that early bye. You want to get that week 3 bye. You want to get it out of the way. You want to be able to kind of build some consistency, get that big trophy victory, get the win next week,
Yep.
give yourself week 3 off. Hopefully when I don't sound like I'm completely losing my voice. But I feel like the Insomniacs would be behooved by that. Get that week 3 break, and then you can ride out the rest of the season and kind of just gun it.
That's a good point. It's a very good point, and I think that it also helps you out because game planning for the team that you're going to play next, because you have to wait and see who that's going to be.
And that holiday break might be a big consistency killer for some teams.
Yes.
I would agree.
Trey back to throw, looking, rolling out, looking again. Rolling out to his left now, throwing in the end zone, knocked away.
Knocked away.
That was a sea of paint-splattered jerseys as the entire Insomniac small business community came to that spot and just decided to build a business improvement district and take over that corner of the end zone.
But did you see who knocked the ball away?
I did not get a chance to see.
AJ.
Wow.
I'm
Coming
not,
from defensive
I'm
He
not
is
end.
surprised.
all over the field.
I'm not surprised.
I am not either.
As now they're going to play some hit 'em up.
You know, this was my old wrestling entrance theme.
Really?
Yes.
Oh boy. Of course,
But-
Matt Ryan, a part of Catalyst Wrestling.
That's
that you
right.
can catch on YouTube.
Yeah, you can watch us on YouTube every single Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern or anytime for free.
Really?
Yeah.
Gonna have to-
Free wrestling every single week.
So there you go.
And
Like it.
just watch for the pressure off the edge here. It's 3rd down, and Trey Robinson, who at one point was at 4th and 50 on an earlier drive,
And
looking
went
to
for
knock,
it.
looking to knock on the door of the end zone a second time.
Which I still don't understand to this minute.
Oh, no!
boy.
59.
Oh boy. Well,
Or is that 69? Was that Brandon
I
Socorro?
think that was Brandon.
It looked like he was about to do the stanky leg.
Yep.
He kind of just adjusted himself. He E-Honda'd himself. He kind of lifted his leg to go into that wide set stance and blew it up for everybody.
well, yeah. Upset in Green Bay. The Packers beat the Chiefs 27-19.
5 yards. Replay the third down.
So I think that puts the Ravens back in the number 1 seed, if I'm not mistaken.
They're already in the
they'll-
number
well-
1.
Well, they'll shake it off.
No, coming into this game, because the Chiefs won last week, they were the number 1 seed. But now because they lost, it puts Baltimore back in the number 1 slot because I think Baltimore has the better conference record.
CJ Smith, Nick Chat on A7FL.TV, bringing it up. This is the third team Trey Robinson has played on in between fall of last year and right now an incomplete.
Got
3rd and
17
10.
seconds, 4th down.
Boy, I'll tell you what, the Outlaws
And
just...
it'll be 4th down.
The Outlaws, kind of like OTT in the last game, just keep shooting themselves in the foot with opportunities. Now, granted, they haven't turned the ball over 7 times like OTT, but the Outlaws have plays there. It's just a split second off.
The timing.
Yeah, exactly.
Trey can't compensate for the rush that's coming at him the entire time.
No.
And the only way to do that, in all honesty, is to have that chemistry and know where your wide receivers are going to be on the field.
And it's interesting in the chat, guys. A lot of people talking about Scooter not having touch. But Dub, what were you going to say before I was going to expound on something?
I was just going to say that. Yeah, his throws have been up, but like I said, when he's needed to hit the play, he's hit the play.
And he's also not going to be the starter for the rest of fall.
No, he's not.
It's going to be Munchie.
Yes.
The toss back on 4th and an uncomfortable amount.
Smooth. It's open! And he makes the touchdown! Outlaws!
And 9.5 seconds left to go, though, gentlemen. That caught by number 29. Oh, pardon me, I believe that's number 27.
Offsides on the Insomniacs. Penalties decline regardless. The play will stand. It's a touchdown. And it is 35-12 with 9.5 seconds to go.
That was Vincent Thompson on the catch.
On the catch.
Wow.
So he gets into the end zone, and Thompson today has been a key weapon for Trey Robinson.
And, well, there's some dancing by the Outlaws, but the Insomniacs are saying, look at the scoreboard, boys.
Yeah. When you're up 3 scores, it's a long day at the office.
It's a long day at the office.
2 scores, pardon me. 2 scores. Well, 3.
No, you're right.
New York public school math getting me. Been a very long
We
try.
can say the same thing about
It's
Clark County
Yes.
School District as well.
Yes. All right, here we go. Smooth coming in motion on the back stack. Trey's going to run for it.
Robinson just met and then dropped. And I believe we'll roll through this last break. We'll roll to the end of the quarter. Oh, no, we're going to take a brief timeout. When we come back, we'll wrap this one up, Dub.
You're watching the Fall Brawl on Fox 5.2. So we're going to see big man on the 3-on-1 return as the juice.
And the
Richard
penalty,
Washington
and the penalty that was assessed
is on the loose, and he's going to take it. There goes the... Oh, my goodness.
Oh,
He's a
man.
large man.
I was wondering who was going to make a business decision on that one. Dillard Davis, that boy he doesn't know quit.
No, he doesn't.
He does
He
not
is
know
all,
quit. He does
he's
not
all
care.
heart. He is all heart.
Does not care.
No. He can play on my team any day.
Dude.
He really can.
Yes, he can.
So here we go. Final 9.5 seconds. And oh, by the way, the Insomniacs get the ball to start the second half. Good luck with that.
You think they try to go for a score here? You think they kneel it down?
You look at the defense and the way it's lined up. Yes, you can go for a score
He
right
might
here.
go take a shot deep. Good Lord.
You know
You
what?
got Smooth.
14 is edging away that on the Outlaws. Number 14 not trying to.
You got Smooth Brown on one side, and you got, well, you know who on the other. Take your pick.
And you got the running back set up to the right.
Which is Mr. Wilkerson. Scoot.
He's brought
A
down.
A rarity.
Timeout
call a
call.
Timeout call with 2.6 to go.
And you can see the frustration on the face of Scooter Hamilton. He is giving his offensive. He is giving Stone Stevenson what for?
No, that's Schwank.
Pardon me, Brendan Schwank.
Yeah, I think he missed a block.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a rarity you see Scooter get sacked.
Yes. And he was trying to get it to the dump out. He was trying to dump out to RTC,
Yes.
but he was not able to.
We got 2.6 seconds left to go. The only thing I will ask myself is why are the cornerbacks playing up on this? I think I would drop back a little bit. You could give them a little bit of room. You just want to keep them in front of you.
But what do you know?
I don't know anything. This is my first time watching this game.
Oh, only your first time?
Well, yeah, just my first time.
Well, you're pretty knowledgeable for it being your first time. Scoot on the pump fake. Scoot going deep. He's off the hands of Himothy.
Wow.
And that's the end of the first half. The Insomniacs doing what the Insomniacs does. They will take a 23-point lead into the half. And oh, by the way, the Insomniacs will get the second half kickoff to start. So, we will take this quick break. We will analyze the first half. You're watching the Fall Brawl on Fox 5.2 and A7FL.TV. We'll be back. Halftime at Bonanza High. The score is 35-12 in favor of the Insomniacs. Anthony Alvarez, Chris Vera, and our good friend and special guest, Matt Ryan, in the house. All singing, "Why Can't We Be Friends," and trying to stay warm up here in the booth. Gentlemen, the Insomniacs doing what the Insomniacs do best, which is just play their style of football and just imposing their will with a 23-point lead at the half.
The one thing that the Insomniacs defense is being really good at is not letting us know what Outlaws football actually looks like.
Correct.
Because outside of Trey Robinson and a couple of throws to Vincent Thompson, they have been completely isolated and put on an island. And the Outlaws defense got lucky towards the end of the first half. But at the start of the second, you're going to have that Insomniac return team looking for vengeance and looking for 6. But let's take a look at some of the highlights and how we got here in the first half. Started off with the Outlaws with the ball. Trey Robinson has been trying to put the team on his back, like trying to go up against Darren Sharper, the hardest safety in the league. And Robinson's legs have been carrying him more than his arm so far under the lights on a Sunday night. And we take a look, we talk about the stats really quickly. 188 total yards, 135 passing, only 53 rushing for the Outlaws, 122 rushing for the Insomniacs, 82, 204 total yards. But here's the big numbers, Scott, pardon me, Dub and Chris. 7 penalties for 70 yards, averaging 10 yards a penalty. And here's the Insomniacs finding ways to make things work. RTC Wilkerson, a weapon, the running game, whether it's RTC or Devontae Carter or Juice Washington, every single time, Chris, it feels like the Outlaws don't have a way or don't have an answer for that offensive line and the array of running backs this team has.
They don't. And the thing about it is right now what they're making them do is pick their poison. So you've got Tay running crazy, you got RTC running crazy, you got Juice, you've got everybody just going off.
And you see here throughout the rest of these highlights, chippy, a lot of frustration, and these two teams really just trying to establish themselves here early. As we head into the second half, the Outlaws have to really establish and set a tone. They're starting on defense. They have to really get a big stop on that 3-on-1 throw-off and keep them, Dub, behind that 40-yard line.
Which is very hard to do considering the plethora of weapons that the Insomniacs have. I mean, there have been some throws that Scooter has been off on, but again, when he needs to make that play, he seems to make that play. And again, there's just so much versatility with the Insomniacs. I mean, we haven't really seen Munchie being utilized at all. He's just been, for the most part, been a decoy in this first half. And you know he can get going at any second, at any point in time in this game.
And we just saw probably one of the best runs of the evening on the 3-on-1 throw-off. And Robinson has been pressured this entire game. A leap and a prayer throw and catch from the Outlaws, down 21-6 on that play. Robinson has been facing a bunch of his former teammates, chasing him down and trying to thrash him at any given turn. Chris, what does Trey Robinson do to compensate for the pressure thrown at him?
Well, I think what he needs to do is continue doing what he's doing, and that is to get out across on the edge. Because right now, even though the Insomniacs are really trying to hem him up, nobody is really playing a contained game, and he is allowed to get outside. And when he gets outside, you can always throw that ball downfield.
But it feels like they're trying to push him towards the sideline. They're trying to keep him on the wrong side of the hash and make him make mistakes, get out of bounds, get sacked. This is a guy who at one point tried to go for it on 4th and 50. So Trey Robinson is an outlaw. He is a gunslinger. He is a guy who believes in himself. And you see here again that pressure rolling out to his right and being able to make that throw to Savion Cunningham. That shows the potential of Trey Robinson, but we're not able to get the best Trey Robinson today because of the defensive pressure from A.J. McQuaig and this defensive line.
But let me ask this question to you, gentlemen. Do you think that the Insomniacs are getting inside Trey's head?
They took up residency as soon as he left.
Yep.
There's a condo bought, paid for, no interest, no loan, straight cash, homie. And when we come back on the other side, I'm going to ask you guys a couple of tough questions about predictions about what we're going to see on the other side of next week and explain how interesting this format is. Right now, it is 35-12, and it's 7.5 minutes until we throw off. Dub,
You're watching the Fall Brawl on Fox 5.2. We'll be back. And we're back inside Bonanza Stadium, home of the Bonanza Bengals, and of course the home of A7FL Nevada and the Fall Brawl, 35-12, as the reigning national champions from the season. The Insomniacs are doing what they do best, imposing their will. Anthony Alvarez and Chris Vera trying to stay warm up here.
Man.
As we are bundled up and layered, as it is chilly as the night falls, and you look at the gorgeous views that our camera crew has given us from the Vegas Strip. So, Chris, if you are the Outlaws and you have to start on defense, how do you try to contain this monster that is the three-headed running back that is Devontae Carter, Anthony Wilkerson, and Richard Washington in this Insomniacs backfield?
Well, can I put it this way?
Go ahead.
I'm glad I'm not on the field.
Well, your first experience in the broadcast booth hasn't been for you, my friend.
It's been interesting. I mean, like I said, the biggest thing about it that I can tell you is the game and viewing the game from up here is much different than being on the field. You always want to try to get to an elevated position so that way you can see all the field, because sometimes when you're walking the sidelines, you see it from a different perspective and you don't see everything. Sitting up here, I can honestly say I see almost everything, and it's been fantastic. So as we're sitting up here watching this game, and what I've seen from the Outlaws so far is the fact that they have shot themselves in the foot, unfortunately.
Correct.
On a couple of occasions. The thing is, can they pull this back together and start playing what they're trying to do, which is outlaw ball?
Well, if you're the Insomniacs, you just stick to the game plan and just go business as usual, status quo as usual?
Of course. I mean, there's no point in changing anything at this point in time. The best thing you can do right now for yourself and for everybody, and doing the things that are right in front of you, is continue playing your style of football. Make them change. Make them stop you to see what's going on.
Well, I mean, that's a very good analogy and a very good point. It's just understanding what you have to do and how to do it. But on this side, we will take another break. It is the Fall Brawl. You're watching live on Fox 5.2 and A7FL.TV. We'll be back. And welcome back to Bonanza High, home of the Bonanza Bengals. And you're watching the A7FL Nevada Fall Brawl. Double A Anthony Alvarez alongside Chris Vera here in the booth, as the Insomniacs are holding on to a 35-12 lead. And the Insomniacs getting the ball to start the second half, which means who are they going to put on the 3-1 return? Is they're going to remain at quarterback? Will it be Munchie? Will it be Luciano? Many questions that Coach JB can put in there, given the fact that he has a 35-12 lead. And you've talked about it all day, Chris. This is a tournament style, so obviously style points really count and help as far as seeding.
Yes.
Now, earlier today on our first game, Sigwood, they set the tone, beating the Hunters 78-0. The Alienators put up 51 points to beat OTT, and right now it's a 23-point lead for the Insomniacs. And I mean, we talked about this on the other side of the ball that you can catch on Wednesday nights from 5:30 to 7 on the Vegas Hype Media Network. It's an amazing thing how we talked about, well, most times you tell your team to don't run up the score, but now you keep saying run up the score.
Yeah, you know, and as we go through this, when we come back on the other side, we'll talk a little bit more about that.
You're watching the Fall Brawl on Fox 5.2. Back at Bonanza High, this is the Fall Brawl. Opening night here in the A7FL. And as we try to stay warm and keep ourselves moving, as we're getting ready to start the second half, and there goes AJ being AJ, harnessing his chi at the 45-yard line, getting himself psyched up.
Oh, that man doesn't need to get himself psyched up.
And of course, he's always hoping that somebody runs to his side, begging them to run to his side.
Right?
Who I've been impressed with so far in the first half has been the Juice, Richard Washington. He has made himself known in making his debut with the Insomniacs, as he has now become a part of that three-headed monster at running back with, of course, Devontae Carter and Anthony RTT Wilkerson. As Matt Ryan joins us back in the booth. Now, Matt, there was a question you wanted to talk about. Go ahead and ask that, sir. The question you wanted to ask me and Chris.
Oh, so what do you guys think is going to be the determining factor in this season? Is it an early buy or a late buy?
That's a good question.
I think, you know what? I honestly think that in this, I think the late buy is actually going to help you out more than the early buy. I think that as teams get ready for the playoffs, as we get closer and closer to the end, I mean, we're only talking 5 weeks. This is a sprint. Yeah. This is definitely not a marathon.
No.
So I think that as we start to look at that, we see these teams are going to be, you know, the late break is going to help for sure.
So it's going to be Denzel Daniels to take the 3-on-1 throw-off to start the second half for the Insomniacs, as they are holding on to a 23-point lead, 35-12. And here comes the throw-off, and we are ready to go. Second half begins. Remember, the 3-on-1 is an untimed down.
It didn't clear the 25, dead ball. It'll be a ball in hand.
Oh, boy.
That's not good.
No, it's not.
That is not good.
Especially when you have the type of speed that Denzel Daniels have. Now, this is his first time playing in the A7, if I'm not mistaken, which, Chris, you know that answer better than I do.
Yes, it is. And, you know, the thing about it is he's no stranger to it. I believe that he also was playing in semi-pro.
Yes.
So I don't think, you know.
For the Las Vegas Kings, which
Yep.
we saw him in Bullet City catch a fantastic
Yes.
touchdown pass on a beautifully thrown ball by the left-handed quarterback. I forgot his name, but Denzel has tremendous speed, and he's got a running head start.
Woo,
And
look at
he's
him
got
move.
the corner, he's got the edge,
Oh,
makes
huffs.
one man miss.
He huffs that man
Yes,
out of
he
his
did.
pantaloons.
He's at the 40, stiff arms the man, still on his feet. Denzel Daniels may go all the way. He's got the age, he's got the corner.
Touchdown.
Grand opening,
Grand closing. Sir, welcome to the A7FL. Put a little style on it. That is how you set the tone. Not Tone Smith, but the tone of this half. The Insomniacs looked to come out with a right hook. They were stumbling, cumbling, and clubbering like it was a Saturday night 6:05 on Techwood Drive. And the Insomniacs are certainly ready for the next 30 minutes of football.
And oh, by the way, he stuck the landing, folks.
That's the most important part.
Yes.
I feel like in this league, if you do a backflip and you don't land it after a touchdown, you lose the touchdown.
Yes.
I would agree.
Dear
Would
Will
agree.
Franklin, stop. You may not know me.
So we have a new rule.
I'm gonna get a Facebook message in 5 minutes
you
saying
know
a
that's
whole
gonna
bunch
happen.
of angry things about me.
And Debo Munch is taking the reins at quarterback for this conversion.
And he's set to be the starter for the fall season.
There's Munch, keeps it himself.
Little
Munch
RPO.
looking. He can run it if he wants to.
He's
Keeping
in
the
his
play
own
alive.
3-on-1. He throws it.
Oh,
right
he trapped
through his
it.
hands.
He trapped
It's
it.
incomplete.
Looking for RTC. Well, very rare do we get to see an Insomniacs 3-on-1 return.
And he just threw a penalty on RTC messing with him.
Anthony Wilkerson is a fun-loving guy. Why would you want to flag that man? But the Insomniacs now have extended their lead to 41-12. But like I was saying, it's very rare you get to see an Insomniacs 3-on-1 return. But when you do, that's what can happen sometimes. And oh, by the way, there's a guy that's going to return by the name of Donnie Lyons that can also do the same thing on the 3-on return. But Denzel Daniels just makes one man miss, goes to the edge, makes another man miss, had the angle, and with his speed, it was bye-bye.
And I want to shout out our awesome staff here today, all the way down the line. We have 3 people working on our production staff today under the age of 23, and they've been killing it, whether it's on camera, on switcher. Shout out to them for bringing the fire today on the first game of the fall season. Shout out to our executive producer, Derek Duncan, and our senior producer, Mel Carey, and the other senior producer, some fat guy. Here's a 3-and-1 return from the 40.
Here comes Savion Cunningham. And Savion, he's at the end. There goes Savion. That's why he's special. Savion Cunningham.
And there you
Touchdown
go.
Outlaws.
And that's how it's done.
They call that man all day say because as soon as he gets the ball in his hands, the first thing that happened, the defender fell on his tuchus. The second thing that happened is Mrs. Cunningham had Savion Cunningham. The third thing is he got the ball and it went into the end zone.
Needless to say, Savion is special. Of course, when he was with OTT, he was accounted for literally half of the scoring for Over the Top.
He was the only reason they scored 35 points when they lost 82-35 to Sick in a regular season.
Yes.
That is true.
Well, that is our 5th 3-on-1 return for a touchdown today in week 1.
Yeah, I believe so.
The last game had 2 pick sixes, I believe, for a touchdown.
Yes.
And also shout out to our status station, David
And
Silverman.
Here we
Trey's
go.
got the
Trey's
edge,
gonna
and
walk
Trey's
in.
gonna walk in. And now,
We
It's a
are now
21-point
at
lead.
a 3-score lead that has totally changed it.
we'll talk more about that. You're watching the Fall Brawl on Fox 5.2. Back here at the stadium, it is 41-20 as we had back-to-back 3-on-1 returns, and the Cannon will make the return. And the Cannon to the
Nice move there.
outside. The Cannon to the 35. The Cannon down the sideline. And he's going all the way.
Back to back to back, selling it out, packed like Summer Jam, 6 on the board, and the Insomniacs respond.
That's the Cannon, folks. Stephen Cannon.
That is ridiculous. We've had 3 scores with no time off the clock.
None.
No time off the clock.
So that is 3 consecutive 3-on-1. Now you see why, fans, we call this the most exciting play in sports. That's three consecutive.
crazy.
That's three consecutive 3-on-1 returns. And now the lead is back up to 27. And now if they convert, the mercy rule is back on again.
Amazing. Amazing. You turn your head for 2 seconds in this game, and all of a sudden, everything has changed. Everything has changed.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
This is why I love my job.
This is why I couldn't be a coach.
Oh, I would have been running down the side. Like, I would have lost my pants. Like, I lost my belt at the airport somehow.
How does that
Did you
happen?
forget it when you took it off to get to check
I put
through?
it in my bag, and at some point, it just fell out of my
It slipped
laptop
out the
bag.
bag.
Oh.
By the way, hi. I'm Dub. That's Chris. That's Matt.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
it's Dub, Chris, and Matt here on Fox 5.2, bringing you all the action. Luciano, if I did the rest of the game like this, I feel like I would be defenestrated.
And RTC is in the double stack. And that's a fake to RTC. And Zach can take it himself if he wants to.
Barn door open.
And there's Schwank.
And the extra point.
And there we
Says,
go.
get off me.
That was so petty. My man, the defender, was just like, meh.
Yes.
Really?
No, he hit him with the knock the mama.
Not the mama.
Yes.
So it is 49-20. So the mercy rule is back on. Since they're now up by 29.
That was Danye Lyons on the return.
Was
Really?
it Danye?
That was Danye Lyons.
Wearing Cannon's number?
I believe so.
Wow. Because I'm
That's
like,
what the chat is telling me.
okay, well, thank you, chat. Because I'm like, wait a minute. Cannon's not
Wait a
that
minute, what
fast.
chat? Chat GPT?
No, the chat on A7FL.TV.
Oh,
Yeah.
You can watch
okay.
our games every single week on A7FL.TV. If you're not in Las Vegas, shout out to everybody watching us on the East Coast where it's nearly midnight. Oh, it is. It's actually midnight.
It's 12:03, yeah.
Olive, go to bed.
You know, and I was just sitting up here saying, I don't see Danye.
Yeah,
I didn't see him. We're looking for him.
And it will be number
now we know.
20 making the return for the Outlaws.
So Danye wearing Cannon's number. All right. Who's returning for the Outlaws?
Ooh, just
Number
bounced.
20. And it bounced inside the 20.
There he goes again.
Nah,
That
nah.
Cheetah?
No.
No, he wears 20.
That's 22, pardon me. That was KJ. That was KJ.
That was KJ. Okay.
I thought it said number 20. The way these numbers are broken up.
Oh, I know. When you look at them, sometimes you have to double check on
That's
the
what I'm
screen just
trying
to make
to see.
sure.
Okay, well, Danye has made his impact felt. Wearing Cannon's number. So
10 yards to go.
I said Cannon got the credit for the touchdown, but it actually was Danye Lyons. So thank you for that correction, fans, and glad you're with us on A7FL.TV, also on YouTube, and also on Fox 5.2 and Cox Channel 125, all a part of the Silver Sports Entertainment Network.
And shout out to our friends at Fox 5.2, bringing you a bunch of our games this year.
Yes.
And having fun with it.
Was
Now-
the first over-the-air broadcaster to present an A7FL championship, and it will be first and 10 for Trey Robinson.
Trey from the 35.
And right now, the Insomniacs have more than the margin of victory needed to be the 2 seed. The throw
Oh,
and
nice
caught.
catch.
Ball caught.
And it'll be
And-
brought down at the 46.
And just like that, the Outlaws are in Insomniac's territory. And that was Trevion Fleming with the catch.
But the thing that the Insomniacs are aware of is that the Outlaws are going to try to just they eat up time on these drives.
Yes, they
Trey
do.
Robinson likes to take his time. He likes to be patient. He's not going for the hurry up. He's not like Quattro Huffin where he can kind of pick things up and improvise with a new team.
Trey to throw again. He'll take it himself. No, he won't. There goes Anthony. There goes Cruz. Ball on the ground. Still fighting for
Trey
it.
got it back.
Covered by Trey Robinson.
Whoa,
And
wait
there's
a
a
minute. Whoa,
flag.
whoa. Watch.
And we're
Going
going to
to
take a
break.
brief timeout. We'll come back on the other side. We'll show you these highlights on A7FL.TV. It is Fall Brawl. We'll be back.
Well, welcome back to the Royal Rumble here at Bonanza Stadium. As we're counting down to the Royal Rumble, it's the
who's
Fall
going over the
Brawl
top rope?
at A7FL.TV and on Fox 5.2. Anthony Alvarez, Chris Vera, and some guy that got on the fly and decided to come help us and make sure week one's okay by a guy by the name of Matt Ryan, who's also joining us in the booth.
The game has ended. It is a double forfeit. There is no winner of this game.
Wow.
Because of the altercation between both teams.
Wow.
So
how does that impact seeding? That's
going to be a conversation I believe that me, Chris Vera, and Kelly are going to have as soon as this broadcast is over. But gentlemen, as we see the highlights of the major 3-on-1 returns come out of this, 49-20, the score don't matter anymore.
It does not.
Nope, it does not.
It is a double forfeit here as we are getting dapped up by dignitaries of the A7FL. Chris, final thoughts on today?
Well, I mean, up to now, I think the great thing about this was we had some stuff going on that was really being positive. And I'm sorry that we had to finish up like this because, in all honesty, most of these guys play football together on other squads.
Yes.
They're friends.
Yes.
And I think it's just, one of those things of the competitive nature came out, and it went a little above and beyond. So, I mean, it is what it is. I think that moving forward for next week, like Matt said, we're going to have those conversations, kind of figure out where we go from here and how we're going to move forward.
It is a black guy, which was taken away from a competitive game because we don't know exactly what would have happened. What we've seen was basically the Insomniacs staying true to form and staying to who they are and playing their type of football, which is why they were out to a 29-point lead. Sick when it set the tone. They're definitely playing with a purpose. They're definitely playing with passion as they are trying to show that they belong in the upper tier with the Insomniacs. And now, because this has happened to where there is no clear-cut winner, this now affects seeding and everything else in this. Yes. So we'll talk more about that as we go to a break. You're watching. So for now, we're going to say so long for now.
But on Wednesday's other side of the ball,
this is going to be interesting.
We'll have the seeding, we'll have the matchups, and you guys are going to have a whole lot more. And I assume a couple of people who played a part in the chicanery tonight here at Bonanza High School.
Yes. Well, our special thanks to executive producer Dick Durkin and to everybody in here. We hope you enjoyed watching as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. For the Vikings, Stab McCorkle, who is now resting. And, of course, our special thanks to him for donating us here to a great cause for children cancer. For Chris Vera, first night in the booth of the books, buddy.
Man, it was fun. It was fun. And I got to admit, Maddie, bringing you in, I enjoyed it tremendously. Hopefully we could get you out here again.
And our special thanks to Matt Ryan for flying cross-country to make sure that week one went on without a hitch. There was some hiccups earlier in the day, but this production crew is as good as anybody. And here we go.
We can always pick ourselves up and dust ourselves off. That's the great thing about what we do.
1 week down, 6 more weeks to go. As it's time to say so long for now. As, yes, they are playing Lionel Richie across the loudspeaker as it is almost time to go home.
And I am easy like Sunday morning. Let me tell you.
So again, the final scores: Sick when it beats the Hunter 70-0. The Alienators beat OTT 51-18.
Area 51.
And unfortunately, this game ends in a double forfeit, no contest, which takes away from what could have happened. But nevertheless, from Bonanza High, for everybody here at the A7FL, for Matt Ryan, for Scott McCorkle, for Chris Vera, I'm Anthony Alvarez saying thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week. This has been the Fall Brawl on Fox 5.2. Good night.